Mr. Drescher, how did you get the idea of basic income?
Well, in the 1980s, when I was a pupil, there were reports on TV about mountains of apples and butters and seas of milk. Unbelievable! This stuff decayed in the European community. On the other hand, there were reports about starvation and hunger in Africa. Once I went to one of my teachers and asked him why not to give all that stuff to people in Africa. His answer? They would get dependent from our help. I understood. Better to teach somebody how to fish than giving a fish. Later, in the beginning of the 1990s, I bumped into circles of intellectuals and anarchists. You know, punks with Mohican hairstyles and hippies and bikers. We were reading together and discussing books from Sartre, Camus, Enzensberger and others. Among these books was one from Robert Anton Wilson in which he mentioned his rich economy, rising income through cybernetic homeostasis. This was the first time when I got acquainted with basic income. But money was not a real problem for us. But while we were talking about the situation about the world, I started in 1993 the project Jovialism. I traveled around Europe collecting ideas for solving problems. This purpose was mainly inspired by the Megacities project. My efforts were assured as I visited tools for self-reliance near Southampton. After an eventful time, in 2005, I wrote a book in which I reflected my experiences. Basic income got to a topic in this book. 1 year later, public discussion started in Germany and I got deeper involved into this movement. And in 2007 I got a member of the Basic Income Earth Network advocating basic income globally.
Would you say basic income is a left idea or an anarchistic one?
Actually, you will find people from all political spectrums advocating basic income. Some of them tried to incorporate this idea for a specific ideology. But in my opinion, basic income is free of any current ideology, because the idea meets aspects from all of them. Capitalism, because of the idea of ownership and money. Communism or socialism, because of the idea of community and solidarity. Anarchism or liberalism, because of the thoughts about freedom and self-responsibility.
If you are talking about freedom and responsibility, do you think people are ready for basic income?
Well, one of the problems of basic income is really freedom, and if people can deal with this freedom. But what does freedom mean? In that case, there are thoughts from Immanuel Kant, who divided freedom in a positive and a negative one. The freedom to, understood as possibilities, and the freedom from, understood as independency. But I like the ideas of Hegel, who said, freedom is the realization of necessities. If we are talking about realization, first there must be a process of learning, a form of emancipation. Matthias Dilthey, a friend of mine in Germany, talks about an emancipating welfare state. The society should support the freedom given by the state. These ideas are similar to those of jovialism.
What is jovialism, and would you say it is the idea behind basic income?
In 1993 I started to look for jovial solutions with the meaning of benevolent, complacent, generous or genial solutions. And this search I called Project Jovialism. Project because it is an ongoing process, and basic income meets these ideas of jovialism.
Today, people talk about climate change, environment pollution and mountains of waste as a result of a throwaway mentality. There are lots of action groups fighting against this development. Don't you think basic income is working against these efforts?
First of all, basic income is no panacea, but it could enable all of us to find solutions for your mentioned problems. An acquaintance from Germany started years ago with a project he called Now: Nutrition, Oxygen and Water. People don't need more for living, but most are struggling for money. Another friend of mine from Germany was addicted to slot machines and he cured himself as he bought such a machine and played as long as he was fed up. It is a process of learning, and our struggle for money could be reduced while we give everyone enough for living. At the moment I see a development that your mentioned groups join each other and stop fighting for a specific topic. They see relations between their efforts. I was really impressed about the words of Lorna Gold. She joined the 12th BN Congress in Dublin in 2008. She never heard about basic income before. She is connected with Troika, an organization working for a just world, and was invited to get acquainted with basic income. I remember, as she said, that she is surprised about the simple idea, which influences so many areas. Basic income could solve so many questions, even those she is connected with. People should think basic income and see solutions, which this idea could bring, and not only problems.
Thanks for this interview.
You are welcome.